Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the virtual information meeting for the Route 58 Abingdon to Damascus Roadway Improvement Project. We appreciate your interest in this proposed project in Washington County, just west of the Damascus town limits. The presentation that you're about to see has been pre-recorded. Staff will be available during and afterwards to answer any questions. Questions may also be submitted after the meeting by one of four methods that will be explained during the presentation. Given the unique circumstances of the COVID-19 outbreak, along with our commitment to protecting public health during this national emergency, VDOT is conducting this virtual information meeting to avoid in-person contact. This presentation will cover the same information that Bristol District staff would have shared during an in-person meeting. However, the comment process will be different. Details on how to submit your questions will be covered later in this presentation. All project information, including this presentation, can be found on VDOT's website. This virtual information meeting has been convened by the Virginia Department of Transportation and is being held to inform the public of the project status and updates and to answer any questions following the presentation. You may have attended previous public meetings conducted by VDOT. However, for the benefit of those who have never attended one, we will start by explaining why and how VDOT is holding this virtual information meeting. This meeting has three essential purposes. First of all, to inform the public on the current status of the project. Second of all, to present project updates since the last public meeting. In this case, a design public hearing that was held in spring 2000 in Damascus. And finally, to provide the public with an opportunity to ask questions and to be fully informed about the project. This slide contains the agenda for this virtual information meeting. We will review the project's purpose, current status, funding, updates, and the next steps as we transition to project construction later this year. Questions will be accepted in a number of ways. You may leave a verbal question via voicemail at 276-696-3249. You may also submit a written question via email using bristolinfo@vdot.virginia.gov or by traditional mail at Virginia Department of Transportation, 870 Bonham Road, Bristol, Virginia, 24201. Attention, Tamara Pritchard. Last of all, you can use the online chat function. Following this presentation, we will answer as many questions as possible from the online chat function. If your question is submitted after today's program, VDOT will respond promptly. The purpose of the Route 58 Abingdon to Damascus Improvement Project is to increase safety and capacity by adding a parallel roadway along this 3.11 mile section of Route 58. The graphic on the right depicts the approximate beginning and ending limits of this project. The project begins at 0.038 miles east of Route 708, Bethel Road, and ends at 0.278 miles west of Route 858, Hollyfield Road. This project is the last section of the Route 58 Corridor Development Program from Abingdon to Damascus. The design public hearing for this project was held in spring of 2000 in Damascus. We will now review the project status. The project design is complete. All right-of-way has been acquired, and all environmental requirements have been satisfied. The project advertisement is scheduled for May 2021. Funding for the Route 58 Abington to Damascus Improvement Project is from the Route 58 Corridor Development Program. This funding includes preliminary engineering of $5.7 million, right-of-way of $5.7 million, and construction of $43.0 million for a total project budget of $54.4 million. We will now review project updates. Due to the construction budget of $43 million, limited additional Route 58 bond funds, and the Commonwealth Transportation Board's commitment to construct this project, the project will be advertised in two segments. Segment 1 begins at 0.038 miles east of Route 708 Bethel Road and ends at 0.200 miles east of Route 711 Drowning Ford Road. Segment 2, which will be dependent on construction bids, begins at 0.200 miles east of Route 711 Drowning Ford Road and ends at 0.278 miles west of Route 858 Hollyfield Road. These limits will be depicted graphically on the following two slides. The graphic on this slide depicts the major portion of segment 1 of the project. Beginning on the left side of the graphic, just east or to the right of Route 708 Bethel Road, is the beginning of this project. The beginning of the project is also the tie-in point to the existing 4-lane section of Route 58 in this area. Moving eastward or to the right, the yellow lines and green grass medians depict the lane additions and alignment improvements that extend eastward toward Damascus. The yellow lines departing the Route 58 corridor depict the secondary road connections that are labeled on this graphic. There will be 2 new bridges constructed and the existing bridge demolished as part of segment 1 to cross the South Fork Holston River. These new bridges, as well as the South Fork Holston River, are shown in blue on the graphic. In the areas where the new bridges are being constructed and the existing bridge is being demolished, users of the South Fork Holston River and the Creeper Trail can expect periodic temporary delays to protect public safety. At the very right of this graphic is the label "Continued on Next Slide" that will take us to the next graphic where the remainder of segment 1 can be seen. The graphic on this slide depicts the remainder of segment 1, shown in yellow, as well as the limits of segment 2, shown in orange. Beginning on the left side of this graphic is the label "Continued from Last Slide" that ties to the previous slide. From this point and extending slightly east, or to the right in yellow, is the remainder of the segment 1 limits. This point is depicted with the label "End Segment 1" and "Begin Segment 2" and is approximately 0.2 of a mile east of Route 711 Drowning Ford Road. From this point and moving eastward or to the right, the limits of segment 2 are depicted in orange with a green grass median. Project segment 2 extends across the graphic to the east or to the right to the end of the project, approximately 0.3 of a mile west of Route 858 Hollyfield Road and close to the Damascus town limits. This point is depicted on the right side of this graphic with the label "Proposed Project to Tie into Existing 2-Lane." As explained earlier in the presentation, VDOT will make a final determination on constructing segment 1 only or segment 1 and segment 2 following the receipt of construction bids later this spring. In the event construction bids for both segment 1 and segment 2 exceed available funding, VDOT may elect to construct only segment 1 at this time. In this case, the proposed 4-laning of Route 58, shown in yellow, would conclude at the end of segment 1 and transition back to the existing 2-lane section of Route 58 in the area where the yellow and orange graphics meet. PDF versions of these project graphics are available for viewing and downloading from VDOT's project website. This slide shows the remaining steps in project completion. From the virtual information meeting today, the next step is construction advertisement, which will be in May 2021. Following award of a construction contract, construction will begin in fall 2021. Construction of this project is projected to last approximately 30 months. Based on this projection, the project should be completed by spring 2024. As we near the end of this presentation, we encourage you to ask any questions you have using the chat function. Questions asked by chat will be answered following the presentation. On the screen are the 3 methods of contacting VDOT should you have any questions following the meeting. These methods are voicemail, email, and traditional mail. This contact information is also available on the project page that led you to this presentation, virginiadot.org/Route 58 Washington County. If your question is submitted after today's program, VDOT will respond promptly. We encourage the public to stay informed. This presentation, including PDF files of the graphics, are posted on our project website at www.virginiadot.org/Route 58 Washington County. Should you have any further questions, please feel free to contact the project manager, Tamara Pritchard, at the number or email listed. This concludes the presentation phase of the virtual information meeting. We sincerely appreciate your interest and participation today. We will now transition to answering your questions.